From the release of brand new skins to the revamp of old ones, a new patch is finally here and it has brought some new assets and effects with it. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video we are unpacking the latest patch 2.1.82 that just came on the advanced server. Let's directly start with hero adjustments. Yin faces an adjustment here. After last week's buff, Yin became way stronger overall. But there was one problem. Players started struggling to land their enhanced skill 1 consistently after the auto aim removal and slow reduction. So now the developers are partially reverting that nerf. His lay form skill 1 slow effects is now back to the same level as the official server, which means enemies will have a harder time escaping once Yin start punching. Basically landing combos should feel smoother again. But of course, there is a trade-off. The damage got slightly reduced from 130 to 180, scaling down to 120 to 170. And the extra physical attack scaling also dropped from 110% to 100%. So this adjustment is less about raw burst and more about consistency. Instead of one-shotting people harder, Yin players can now connect their skills more reliably again. Now speaking of fighters trying to cosplay as marksman, Freya is getting nerfed again. And yep, the developers directly mentioned her marksman role. That attack range playstyle becomes a little too strong recently, especially during Ultimate, where she could just chase people forever while hitting from a safer distance. So now both her skill 2 range and Ultimate enhanced basic attack range are reduced from 3.5 to 3.4. It may sound small on paper, but range nerfs are always dangerous because they affect spacing, chasing and teamfight safety. Her ultimate duration also got reduced from 12 seconds down to 10 seconds. That means less time flying around like an angry Valkyrie machine gun. But there is one compensation buff. Her HP regen per basic attack early game got improved from 10 to 40 minimum scaling, so sustain becomes better early while the late game remains the same. Now let's move to Hirara because some of her previous nerfs are already getting reverted. Her skill 2 damage got buffed again, both the base damage and scaling. Cooldown also dropped from 6 seconds to 5 seconds. And skill 1 cooldown is also reduced slightly across all levels. That is actually a pretty nice buff because Hirara relies heavily on smooth skill rotations. Lower cooldown means faster combos, more pressure and more mobility during fights. The skill 2 buff especially helps her burst trades feel stronger again. Looks like the developers have realized they hit her a little too hard last patch. Meanwhile, Hanzo players are quietly winning this patch. His Hana Kage form skill 2 dash is getting optimized, and honestly this is more important than it sounds. You can now choose the landing area within a certain range instead of being locked into a fixed dash path. That means better repositioning, cleaner escapes and more flexible engagements during ghost form. This is one of those quality of life buffs that could massively improve high-level gameplay. But now let's talk about some nerfs. Starting with Paquito, the developers said they want to balance his late-game strength, and the nerf mainly targets his passive. His extra damage against minions got reduced, and his damage reduction scaling also dropped from a maximum of 40% down to 30%. This weakens both his farming speed and survivability later into the match. So Paquito will still punch hard, but he won't become as tanky while combo spamming in late game fights. Honestly, anytime Paquito becomes too durable, he starts looking less like a boxer and more like a final boss. Balwan is also getting toned down a bit. Last patch buffs are partially reverted, and now his skill 2 total HP damage bonus drops slightly from 1.5 to 1.4%. Not a massive nerf, but definitely noticeable over extended spinning fights, especially against tanks and high HP frontliners. The damage output will be slightly weaker now. Classic Balman situation, spin too hard, get nerfed. And then we have Glue. Finally, the developers straight up admitted Glue has been dominated the win rate and ban rate charts for way too long. So they are trying to free him from the ban list, meaning they are nerfing the slime monster again. Skill 1 explosion damage got reduced heavily in early game, dropping from 300 to 250 base damage. And his ultimate attack regeneration also got reduced from 25% to 20% total HP at early levels. This mainly weakens his sustain during early fights and tower dives. Glue will probably still be annoying because, well, he is Glue. But these nerfs should make him less impossible to kill during early skirmishes. Now let's talk about Argus. And this adjustment is actually pretty interesting. His passive base damage and regen are both getting buffed again. Demonic Slash now deals more base damage and restores more HP. But in exchange, the physical defense ignore effect drops from 40% down to 30%. So less anti-tech power overall. But there is a brand new effect. Demonic Slash can now ignore buildings' physical defense. Yup, Argus is now even scarier at pushing towers. Split push Argus players are probably smiling right now like cards and villains. This adjustment feels designed to make his performance smoother throughout the match instead of making him too oppressive against heroes. Less strength shredding, more objective pressure. And finally, let's end with Ruby. This is more of a power curve adjustment rather than a direct buff or nerf. Her spell ramp ratio is increased from 50% to 60% and low HP scaling now goes up to 150%. So when Ruby gets low, her sustain becomes absolutely crazy. But there's a catch. Basic attacks can no longer trigger lifesteal. So the developers are clearly pushing her more towards skill-based sustain instead of basic attack healing. Her scythe and shockwave damage values were also adjusted. Early game base damage is higher now, but scaling is slightly lower later on. Meaning Ruby becomes stronger earlier while scaling a bit less explosive into late game. And honestly, this could make her laning phase much more annoying. Plus, they also optimize the skill indicator to better show the 2 damage areas, which should help players aim more accurately. Kaja is also seeing a revamp, so more about it, do check this video out. Now let's move to the battlefield adjustments. Because one item just got completely redesigned, and it's a Great Dragon Spear. The developers admitted that not many heroes were actually using this item effectively before. So now they are changing its passive entirely to make it more useful for crit-based heroes. First, the item is getting more expensive. Price goes from 2140 up to 2390 gold. So this is definitely becoming a more premium late game damage item now. But in exchange, the crit chance increases from 20% to 25%, which already makes it more attractive for marksmen and crit fighters. So here's the biggest change. The old Supreme Warrior passive has been completely removed. Instead, Great Dragon Spear now gets a brand new passive called Sunder. And this passive makes your critical basic attack deal extra true damage to the target. Yup, true damage. That means crit heroes now have another way to mail tanky frontliners without caring too much about defenses. Honestly, this could become very dangerous for heroes who already spam critical hits quickly. Imagine, late game marksmen shredding tanks while also dealing bonus true damage at the same time. Tank players are probably reading this patch note with fear right now. And speaking of system changes, roaming blessing are also getting nerfed. The developers are reducing the solo income gained from minions and creeps during the first 8 minutes. It goes from 50% all the way down to just 30%. Basically, the game now wants roamers to actually roam and support the team instead of quietly becoming a second jungler. Now let's move to the system adjustments. Because the MLBB is adding a brand new feature for players who love flexing. The new name card feature is finally live, and honestly, this looks like Mountain giving players their own mini profile showcase. The name card now has a much bigger display area, which means you can show off more favorite heroes, achievements, and progression detail. They also added both in-match and outside-match achievements that automatically appears on name card once unlocked. You can also customize and equip them manually in the edit screen. This feature is mainly focused on personalization and social flexing, so expect players to start comparing profiles harder than win rates. Meanwhile, season achievements also got adjusted. The feature where lane icons change colors after reaching certain achievement levels has been temporarily removed. This also applies to the lane selection and recent match screens. So if you suddenly notice less colorful lane icons in the lobby, that's intentional. And finally, honor badges are now easier to equip. The minimum season achievement level requirement has been adjusted to level 4. So more players can now flex their badges earlier without grinding as much. Alright, time to check on some surveys. So looks like Franco is getting another special tier skin survey. And honestly, this design looks pretty unique. The first one gives full biker gang vibes with flaming weapons and skull armor. The second one looks more futuristic with tribal style details mixed into the design, and those mechanical arms are so cool. The third one feels like a heavy ice warrior tank, and personally this one looks like a lucky box skin to me. And the last one has a steampunk style theme with a really crazy weapon design This design somewhat reminds me of Uranus' special skin. Now we have Karrie with her epic skin survey. The first design has a dark demon queen vibe with those red crystal blades. The second one looks more futuristic and cyberpunk, and honestly the effects could go crazy in game with this one. The third design gives a cursor warrior style with a mix of dark and ancient energy. And is it just me or the red and black color really suits there? And the last one feels like a Beast Queen theme with dragon-like armor and glowing weapons. I love all the design, but let's see what you all think about it. For Franco, you guys voted for design 4. That's some crazy choice. And for Karrie, seems like server number 4 took the W. Well, if you feel you have a better taste, then why not join our WhatsApp channel and vote out the best one? Who knows, your vote might become the next skin. Alright, time to move on to the upcoming new skins. First up is the new Starlight of Harith. The red glow and the folksy theme really suits him well. If you want to check on the skill effects, then why not check out this video. The link will be in the top right corner. Next is Season 41 skin of Zaz's Ice-Bone Scourge. 1-1 will also get a new allied skin named King Cole's Grace. Now we have 4 revamped skin also. Fanny Skylark, Leslie Falcon Mistress,
no explanation is necessary.
Oldest Realm Watcher,
Yield, you specks of dust!
Franco Valhalla Ruler. I suggest you watch the video. Moving on to other updates. First off, we have the assets for Street Fighters. These are crests and tokens for the upcoming collab. Now the good news to Legend skin owner, God, Lunox and Layla Legend will be receiving a new Radiant kit. Stay tuned for the details. Season 41 tag is also out now. It will be called Scarlet Ambers, featuring the new hero Hirara. Alright, let's shift our focus to Starlights now. Rumors suggest that Hanzo Starlight skin might be delayed. Instead, Balric is expected to take the June Starlight's foot. Then for July, Harith is rumored to be the next Starlight hero. He already has a new sacred statue prepared for it. Not only that, but its trail effect is also out. And this time, it will have a new notification effect. This time, we can also see the portrait of Balman's new Titan collector skin named Vulcan Lionheart. Time to check on splash arts now. First is Wanwan's elite skin, and how cute she looks here. Zaz's Season 41 skin is gold. Alright, next is the splash art for the Revamp skin. Fanny Skylark has this new look on her and she looks stunning. Leslie Collector also has this new scary and intimidating look on her. Papa Franco's Lucky Box skin is going through a new look and he is more of Odin now, purely godly vibes. Speaking of godly, even Older's Collector has a new splash art. We can also see a splash art for the new epic skin of Nana, and lastly is Hylo's basic skin splash art. So guys, that was everything that came with patch note 2.1.82. Which skin or update did you like the most? Is it the revamps or the buffs on your favorite heroes? Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.